Welcome to video 5 and topic 5. For the poor of a country where corruption thieved a great deal of opportunity, corruption was one of the genuine opportunities that remained. Discuss how corruption affects the lives of Anawarians in Behind the Beautiful Forevers. Two parts to this question. The quotation and then the statement, the propositional statement, but it's also got the stem in there as well. Okay. So, discuss how corruption affects the lives of the Anawarians in Behind the Beautiful Forevers. As we learnt last video, this is the statement that we're going to write our essay on, but we need to understand the context of the quote, find out or remember where that came in the text, and then we can use that to highlight our essay. So for the poor of a country where corruption thieved a great deal of opportunity, corruption was one of the genuine opportunities that remained. So what this is talking about, talking about the corruption leads to inequality, but that corruption was really the only option available to you. If you weren't corrupt, then you weren't working. And if you weren't working, then you'll starve. Okay, so let's underline some key words. Corruption affects the lives. Okay? All right, so let's have a look. So we'll start with corruption. So what are the types of corruption that exist? We can start with commercial corruption. And that involves taking stolen goods or selling stolen goods. Yeah, this is encouraging a lifetime of crime. It also involves leveraging your money for gain. Yeah, and we see this with Asha when she refuses to buy a heart valve, right? She has the money, or she has the ability to get the money, and she's willing to, deny that for her own personal gain. Okay? Let's look at another type of corruption, which is more of a political corruption. And this is, Asha is the bastion of political corruption, isn't she? Right? Here we're talking about leveraging your influence. Yeah. You have friends, you can do them favors, and for that you are able to, gain other favors. Here we have rorting the system. Teaching at a bridge school when you have no education yourself, starting a non-profit merely to make money out of it, etc., etc., etc. There are many examples that we see. Okay, so what happens if we're not commercially corrupt? Well, we'll go out of business. All right. What happens if we aren't politically corrupt? Then we can be destroyed by those that are. Okay? So how does this affect their lives? Well, in two ways. There's the ways that we're talking about up here, right? Yeah. If we are not, if we're like the Husseins, we're a little bit commercially corrupt, but also hardworking, etc., etc., etc. We work with stolen goods, blah blah blah. And note they only start not working in stolen goods once everything's starting to fall apart anyway. If you're not like that, then you'll never get work, right? You'll go out of business. All right. If you're not politically corrupt, you can be destroyed by those who are willing to be. Yeah, by the Fatimas of the world or by the Ashas of the world. Okay. What's the other side of this? Right, and I think probably the more important side, which is moral corruption. Yeah, and inequity is the second. So with moral corruption, this is the ice to water analogy. That living in a corrupt world inherently corrupts you. Yeah, you're the product of your environment. And by being corrupt, you're contributing to that world, that social condition of corruption, and which will result in children and other people, the ice melting and becoming dirty water. The other side is inequity, and if we think about how that works, right? So, as I've said before, corruption preferences the corrupt. Yeah, which leads to inequity. Corruption affects the lives of the Anuadians because only those who are willing to be corrupt can escape, these traps, and create this inequity. But perhaps those that manage to resist in some form might be able to be slightly less muddy water. So what do we have? We have commercial corruption, political corruption, which if you aren't able to navigate your way through, you have to go out of your way in business. Go out of business, and you might be destroyed by those who are. You might become morally, corrupted, and you'll certainly suffer inequity. So work on your answers below, and I'll see you in class.